welcome back to Air Tycoon Online. Yeah, there hasn't been an episode in quite a while, and that has been no coincidence. I had a midterm, so I designated myself a good 2 days to study for it. That's a reasonable amount of time, if you ask me, to study for a midterm. So yeah, I gave myself a couple days for that. Then I had the midterm, on one day, and then the next day, I was just kind of, chilling, relaxing, recovering from, all that studying and all that stuff. And now we're back today to finally make some more Air Tycoon. Now, unfortunately, due to the way this game is, just that tiny little break has made me fall quite far behind, and I'll show you guys in a second. Um, I'm about a quarter of the first place value, and I'm not even top 10 yet. But that's also kind of good because alliances are now a thing. So I should be able to hop into alliance before climbing up the leaderboard. I feel like realistically, if I end up trying in this world, I could get second. Um, However, I don't think I will try very hard in this world at the end of the day, and I'll probably finish somewhere in the lower levels of top 10. Now, I think these Air Tycoon games are really fun. I just wish they didn't require you to play so often. I kind of feel like I should go back and play the offline versions, because in those ones you can take a long break from the game and come back to it, and you aren't so far behind that it's almost comedic to try and catch back up. Um, Whereas, of course, uh, in this game, when you take such a long break, it doesn't feel realistic to catch back up. A lot of the good routes get taken, all that good stuff, and then what are you left to do? I don't really know. It doesn't feel like there's too much you can do once you far too far behind. Like China Southern, for example, in this game world, has really taken a lot of the leadership in terms of the route share, and he seems to be pretty good. I see him taking a lot of good routes. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to catch up with him. Yeah, let's take a look now. If we see he has 84 million value, I'm 19 million. Um, my management report it's obviously a down tick. It's December, but it's not looking too great either. Obviously, there's still plenty of room to grow into, and just because I'm behind now doesn't mean I'll be behind forever. But also, I don't really want to compete at all in any routes in this world because I won't have time to manage the prices whatsoever. Like whatever price it's set at will probably remain that price for years and years and years, um, before I get a chance to say it. So I really like to avoid competition wherever possible. Also, in addition, I'd really like to have slots whenever possible, but at that point, that's seeming somewhat unlikely. Uh, yeah, looking around, there's actually still a lot of good cities, which are untaken to other good cities, which is a promising sign. Like here we have Kiev, um, untaken, but a lot of other ones like Lyon. I'm guessing this is China Southern. No, it's a Korean guy. Um, but yeah, taking a look at these routes, yeah, there's a lot of good ones which are taken, and it always pains me to see other people with good routes. I could compete with them though, but once again, as I said earlier, I would like to avoid competition whenever possible, simply because, yeah, I'm not gonna have time to compete too much. So yeah, instead we're gonna try and avoid competition, just make a few routes here and there, um, and try and squeak by a win that way. I don't know how it's gonna go, but we'll see. We'll see. There are still plenty of good routes, as you guys can see. Um, so yeah, we'll be good in that department. Uh, Using all those Illusion 62Ms is going to be another difficult task. Uh, they are not the best airplane, and I would rather use a DC-1030 wherever possible. I just don't quite have enough of them yet because I've only had time to log on a couple times and request, um, for aircraft such as the DC-1030. If we take a look at this, I wonder who's been taking these kind of routes. Yeah, it's China Southern, um, which is a big shame because I would have liked to have taken as many of this kind of route as possible with a DC1030, but unfortunately China Southern has gotten a lot of them. So yeah, we're gonna have to take as many of these routes as possible from cities like LA and stuff. I could compete with them with the Lucian 62M. Actually, come to think of it, because that plane, despite having terrible satisfaction and terrible that kind of stuff, is just so small. Even my tiny share of the route's profitability, like so to say, is gonna be enough to be, more than profitable. That's pretty interesting. Also, I just noticed there's like great routes like LA to Pescara still available. So that's pretty interesting. Like Turin, who's taken this, China Southern, what a surprise. Um, but yeah, anything in range for a DC or a what's it called, an Illusion 62M. I'm just gonna open it. I mean, I said I wanted to avoid competition, but at the same time, it hurts me too much to let these good routes go. Oh, I love the auto pricing to automatically match prices. That's really really convenient. Yeah, that helps a lot actually. So yeah, I guess I will just go ahead and open these routes, despite me saying I'm gonna try and avoid them, simply because I am a lazy bum who is too lazy to look for properly competitive routes. So instead, I'm just gonna open routes like this, um, which should be plenty profitable, extremely easily profitable, and yeah. Whoops, I accidentally clicked the wrong button. Oh, okay, who cares that that's not 100% satisfaction? Shouldn't make a difference. Yeah, I really wish there was a preset button for these routes, because that is actually the best part about Air Tycoon Online 3, the fact there are presets. I don't like a lot of the other, they're not quality of life features, but the other kind of what are they called? Realistic features, like the hub restrictions and that kind of stuff. Mostly because the hub restrictions, if you're gonna have them, should be realistic. You can still open a hub anywhere in the world, which is kind of unrealistic. UK airline cannot go and open a hub in the US and vice versa. Um, and in addition, the way hubs are open is they cost by default at least a certain amount, and that amount I believe is too high. Um, you should be able to open hubs with smaller operations in them, which are still profitable. But instead, you have to maintain this, what's it called? Like a hub a name value or some shit like that, by advertising, and that costs like at least, um, like a really considerable amount, like 40,000 or something per hub, which is just too high. Um, I do not want to pay like $40,000 every month or every day or every tick or whatever the unit of time is to maintain a hub, um, just for some small operations. So it kind of forces you to open as many routes as possible out of each hub you do have. And I don't know how I feel about it. I'd rather just open routes everywhere and anywhere, and have none of the stupid stopover restriction where you can't stop over in a smaller airport. That's probably the one which bugs me most, as it makes very little, if not no sense. Um, the fact that I can't use all of these cities, like for example here in Europe, as stopover points, so it forces me to do this really kind of awkward, I guess, juggling of where to open routes, to force them into stopovers. Like LA, for example, was extremely hard to make stopovers to, and I don't like that. I want everywhere to be easy to make stopovers to, because I mean, if your game doesn't support a model that allows like passenger transfer, uh, this is the closest thing you can get to hub and spoking, is actually by making a stopover. Um, interesting enough, the act itself of making a stopover is basically trying to force your route to simulate a hub and spoke model by splitting the demand in a sense. Um, there's a lot of ways you can think about stopovers in this game, but anyways, they're the most broken. There's really no point to making anything else besides stopovers in this particular game. Um, Even for short haul, just make it as the short haul part of the route as a part of a stopover, and that's guaranteed to be more profitable than dedicating an entire plane to a route. Um, and that's kind of just the way this game is. And I personally really love it. Um, it makes it so you can run kind of a smaller company, which is still really profitable, and I love that. Like I can run my little company here with 700 airplanes, and I can probably finish in the top three places. Um, I don't think in this particular game world I'm gonna get much more than 700 aircraft, uh, because of course I'm playing this during a school term and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be really nice to see how big I can get on really limited time budget. Basically, less than an hour a day, if I were to guess, on average, which is definitely going to be the lowest I've ever done for an Air Tycoon online playthrough. Um, yeah, and we'll see how big we can get on a limited IRL time budget. So yeah, anyways, as you guys can see here, we're kind of running out of routes, um, from LA at least. So we're going to move on to the next hub, probably Atlanta, and see how many good routes we can get going from Atlanta. And very soon we're going to run out of slots in Europe, so I'm going to have to go ahead and do one of those slot requesting sprees where I just try and log on throughout the day and request slots everywhere where I can. Um, that is generally something which is always really useful to do in this game, as without slots, of course, you can't even play. So, yep. Let's see where to make. If this is 4 schedules, that's unfortunate, but no, it's not. It's 3, which is very nice. And normally, I'd be trying to figure out at what range it switches from 3 to 4 schedules and make sure I'm always scheduling stopovers at the range where it's just about to switch from 4 to 3 schedules, because that, of course, is the most profitable range. Um, Honestly, the schedule shouldn't be done per week in the first place. They should be done per something else to make it, more continuous, I guess. Maybe per month, or I don't know. The slot request system wouldn't work. So, anyways, um, yeah. Anyways. Where I wonder where all like China Southern's routes are, because I've only ran into a few of them. They are all good routes. All of the ones he makes are all stopovers, in good places. But I really wonder how he has like what 600 something routes. And I've only seen a few. I wonder where they are, because obviously everyone thinks differently from everyone else. But the way I like to make routes, which is what I'm obviously doing now, like a lot of them are still mine. I guess these ones are like no, like I don't see China Southern, so I don't know where his routes are. They're obviously somewhere, but I just don't see them. Maybe they're like here. No, once again, that's not China Southern. Very interestingly, I have no idea where he is flying. Um, with the amount of routes, he's obviously flying somewhere. So yeah, I just don't know where that somewhere is, which is surprising. And another surprising thing is this city is taken to every single city I want to fly to in the U.S. So it looks like I'm going to do some slot requests in Denver and Phoenix. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to cut back in a bit when I have more slots and it's easier to make routes. And yeah, I'll be back in a bit.